And
My name is Christian Arduz.
I'm Tristan Mendez.
I'm Benjamin Ruiz.
And I'm Frank Huntington.
And this is Our Revolution Pomona.
This is what is existing right now of Our Revolution Pomona. Hopefully we'll have 11 soon, right?
Yeah, we're going to try and recruit more people so we have 11 members.
Yeah, so we're at 4 for 11. I don't know.
Okay, so we're going to start by talking about a list of things that Frank here has written down.
Going to start off with some recent events.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so first up we have the Iowa caucus. And I know you guys have a lot of thoughts on that. So why don't you start us off on that, Tristan?
Okay, so there's a lot that happened. There's actually a poll that happens before every caucus in Iowa that started in 1943. And it's sponsored by the Des Moines Register, and also it's sponsored by CNN. But what happened was 2 days before the caucus, what happened was the Pete Buttigieg campaign made a complaint regarding the poll. So what happened was, allegedly, a Pete Buttigieg supporter allegedly called the Pete Buttigieg campaign and allegedly claimed that when the poll worker called him or her, again it's allegedly, there's no evidence, when they called this person, Pete Buttigieg's name was not read off as the list of candidates in which he or she may have supported. So they allegedly called Pete Buttigieg's campaign and said that since they complained in public, I think on Twitter, and they had CNN, since they're a sponsor, do an internal investigation, and CNN found that allegedly, again, there's no evidence, allegedly, a poll worker they had the font enlarged on their computer screen, and they were reading the list of candidates that people support, to the people they're polling, and that since the list is randomized, allegedly the list is randomized whenever they call someone new. They weren't sure if this person was reading off, forgetting to read off certain candidates when they would poll people. And so instead of going back through the call log of this one single person who they allegedly claimed made this mistake, they just kind of said, we're scrapping the entire poll. And they had 2 days to worry about it because they reported it, I think, like at 5 or 6 p.m. 2 days before. So they had at least almost a day and a half to just have everyone go back through that one person's call log and fix it. But because Pete Buttigieg and his campaign complained about it, they just completely canceled the poll.
That's a mess, dude. It's honestly such a mess.
And you can just see it's a bunch of biased BS because in virtually almost all the polls coming into Iowa, Bernie was leading. Everybody knew that. And by the way, the newspaper that did the poll actually endorsed 2 candidates. They didn't endorse Pete, but they endorsed Warren and Klobuchar. So who kind of has a bias or a reason to do that, to go into this race and kind of halt the momentum of one of the most progressive candidates.
And especially to endorse 2 candidates, I mean, like, dude, what is that? It doesn't really make sense. Wouldn't you traditionally just endorse one candidate, that's the representation of your newspaper or whatever it is? And it's funny too, because that's the definition of I don't know, that's a stereotype for old people too. It's their font's too big, right? So it's they couldn't even see it. But that's probably just an excuse, honestly, because there's a lot of stuff related to this whole Iowa caucus stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's oh yeah, here's the reason. But it's is that really the reason, or are you just kind of trying to screw it up,
And just to kind of point out that this is kind of a fairly big deal. You mentioned that this poll has been conducted since 1943 and been run continuously since. This would make it the first time it's been canceled in 77 years.
Yeah, that is also true.
Yeah.
And who's the most progressive candidate? Well, let's see. 43. Well, that's when one of the most progressive candidate was close to dying. But who's, for the most part, the most progressive candidate in most of that time? that has been upcoming in an actual presidential election in the U.S.
So the person who complained was who was part of the Buttigieg campaign, who spoke on behalf of the campaign. Her name was Liz Smith, and she actually only complained about it on Twitter at 7:40 p.m. on February 1st. So, and I think they just decided to cancel it at the end of that night instead of yeah. So they probably did the investigation the next day and canceled it the next day, but to complain about it on Twitter and to have CNN pick it up so quickly off just one complaint on
It's
Twitter.
just like they were waiting for it. Even if that's
Yeah.
true, it's like they were just waiting for that just to cancel it because they knew he was on top probably.